Hey, let me share a secret to you. There is a very great hidden power on keeping your plans a secret, all right? I know everyone has a plan. You have a plan, I do have a plan. There is that thing that usually feel, hey, if I do this, I can completely change my life, improve my life or achieve some things that I would like, be it either financial, social, or even spiritual. And the moment you sit down when you're alone, because some of the great ideas usually come when we are alone. And when you're seated there, you feel like, hey, guess what? I think I've been doing it wrong. I think from today, henceforth, starting from next week or tomorrow, I'm going to make my life different in terms of this or the other. And then after that, writing it down in your diary, and then you get out there. There is that, thing that oozes deep inside of you. And you feel like, hey, guess what? Because this thing, you have a very, very strong motive that is inside of you. And you feel like, hey, I'm supposed to share this idea with my friends. Because they are my friends, I think they can motivate me. I think they mean good to me. I think I should go out there, share this idea with them. I think I should share with my family members. Or maybe I should even share with my partner or something of sort. Have you ever felt something of sort? Guess what? Today I'm telling you there is actually a very great power into keeping those plans a secret. And by the way, guess what? I'm going to approach this issue on two ways. I'm going to approach it using the real life examples. People have researched on these areas and they've actually come up with a result and saying, hey, it is true. There is a very great power behind you keeping your things a secret. And the other way, or rather, the other approach I'm going to use is about the spiritual way or even the religious way. Because, hey, guess what? We are in Africa and this really matters a lot as far as the social life is concerned. All right, so you better stick around, watch this video to the end so that you understand exactly what's this power behind you keeping your plans a secret. All right, guess what? Let's get into the business. Let's not waste more time. Now, this is the point. See, everyone has a plan. And just like I said at the beginning of this video, but the point is, the moment you end up there, for example, say you conceive a certain idea, you conceive a certain plan, you realize there is a certain thing that you can be able to do and bring a difference in your life. There is a very high motivation. The motivation actually, it's very, very high. For example, maybe if I can just draw some sort of a graph like this, and then this is your, what should I say? This is time, here this is the time, and here we can say the achievement, all right? Or should I say the motivation, all right? This is where you are at the beginning, right? This is the beginning, and this is how the graph looks like. Whenever you conceive that idea, all right? Whenever you conceive that idea, probably when you are alone, all right? And then guess what happens? You find that the motivation is actually very, very high. You realize the motivation is very, very high, all right? And then you're out there, you're really feeling like you want to share this idea, you want to share with the people. Hey, you have to share with your friends or something of sort. Guess what happens? The moment you share with them, and this is a result that has actually been done, the motivation tends to go down. All right, the motivation tends to go down. And the reason as to why it tends to go down, various reasons. Reason number one, you realize now the motivation was actually very high. This is actually a sort of an exponential, whereby the graph is going high. After sharing the idea, you realize the motivation is actually going down, remaining constant, and then it starts to going down with time. And then to a point whereby that thing that you had as a plan, you end up not doing it. Number one, you realize the reason as to why this is happening, it is because some of the people you share can demotivate you. They can demotivate you, all right, because some of them actually operate under the jealousy, jealous. You find some of these people operate under the jealous, so you find that these guys can actually demotivate you. Number two, they can actually do what? Heartbreak you. See, heartbreak you, it means like they tell, let's say, maybe sometimes all the plans are not correct. You may have like a plan, and at the end of the day, you realize that plan was actually a wrong plan. And then you have to go back to the drawing board to think about something else. And then at that particular point, you actually had been heartbroken because, hey, you've been smacked with the truth on your face. And you feel like, hey, I think that was a wrong plan. So the point is this: the moment you share, okay, sharing is actually not so good, because the moment you share, the motivation actually goes down to actually achieve that specific thing. And you realize, by the time you realize, but let's say maybe this is the third month around this place, maybe let's say this is the third month, and then you realize that the motivation has actually gone down. And by the time you're talking of 1 year around here, 1 year around here, if you did share that specific information, and then some people asking you at this particular point, hey, you told us that you're going to start a boutique business. Hey, you told us that you're going to start say whatever the business. Hey, you told us that you're going to check about your weight and what have you. And you told them, hey, you guys just wait. See, I have been quite, what happens when you reach at this particular point, when nothing is happening, you kind of go back to the same drawing board. At this particular point, you give yourself what we call reasons. and excuses. Reasons and what? Excuses. Now you are giving yourself excuses. Hey, you know what? I do not have enough money as of now. Hey, guess what? I just got myself a very big emergency. All the money that I had saved, actually, I did take a very big scoop of it and channel it towards, catering for that. And guess what? Yeah, I did tell you I would like to start a business, but I have not gotten actually a very strategic and nice place. And guess what? The person whom I was relying to supply me the materials to sell, the person just disappeared. Guess what you're doing? You're just justifying yourself and giving yourself excuses. Why? The reason why this is happening at this particular point where the motivation actually went down at this region, at the end of the day, this is called the demolition. This is a demolition zone. At this particular point, everything that you believed on disappeared. And that is the situation where you get to yourself and ask yourself now, guess what? Should I go back to the drawing board? The time has actually moved. There's no way you can reverse the time and go back to the drawing board. What happens again? Unless now you create another graph at this particular point, and then again you come up with a new idea. You have a very big motivation, all right? Say you never changed, you never watched me, you never incorporated what I said. Again, you share the idea, the same thing happened. And guess what happens? You keep on having what you call a loops of high hopes, low hopes, high hopes, low hopes, and by the time you realize, you've actually smacked yourself on your face, and you cannot be able to go ahead and proceed into achieving that specific dream. So what's my point? My point is quite simple. The moment you conceive an idea at this particular zone, all right, keep it to yourself. Keep it to yourself. Sometimes it's good to tell yourself the truth. Let's say maybe you want to start, let's say, a butchery business somewhere. Let's say you want to start a cereal business somewhere. Let's say you want to start a real estate. Ask yourself, smack yourself the realities. This is the place where I want to start this business or this venture. Is it a worthy business? What's the feasibility of this given business? How is those guys who are in that business operating or something of sort? And then after that, the moment you realize that business is actually viable, you can go ahead and start it. Don't share with anybody. Sometimes I tell people, sometimes, not all the time, sometimes even sharing this information with your partner becomes a big problem. I have actually seen a lot of people who could have achieved way more than what they have achieved now just because of their partners. So the point is this: sometimes it's good to keep the secrets to yourself. Remain shut. Make your mouth remain shut. Keep secret. By the way, there's a video I made and I said, hey, if you can't keep secrets, you can't keep money. And as a result, you can't keep wealth. All right? Show me one person who has this yapping and you tell me whether they have money. They do not. So if you have to have what you call the capability of keeping secrets to yourself. So the moment you conceive that idea, keep it to yourself. Guess what happens when you keep these secrets to yourself? You realize that even the motivation goes high and high and high. And there is a difference here. I don't want you to just get motivated, have the motivation, but you're not doing what we call the execution. See, it is good to as well do the execution, because you can have been having let's say you want to start content creation. And you're out there, hey, I want to start content creation because content creation is good, it is paying, because that's what my call is, and what have you. And then you have the motivation. Every time you keep on watching us doing content creation, you are out there, how to start a YouTube channel. You're out there, hey, how to start an online e-commerce. You want to start a drop shipping, for example. You want to start something, just anything, all right? Maybe learning a skill. And then you're not doing any action. You're just having the motivation. Or what you need to do first after getting the motivation, and now you go back to the dream and ask yourself, now, what do I need to get started? Okay, I want to get started to do with the content creation. What do I have at my hand? I have a phone. Does it have a good substantive camera? Yes, it has. Then start there. Don't complicate things. Start there. All right? And then after there, think of something. Hey, how can I improve on whatever I'm doing? Improve on my production. You buy yourself a mic. You get yourself a software, where you can edit the videos. You buy yourself something, so you keep on piling yourself, By the time you realize, say, you're talking about the year 1, year 2, things have changed. The quality of your production, how you present yourself, the language, the confidence, and what have you, has actually gone up drastically. That's how you actually improve yourself. But now if you remain on the motivation zone, at the end of the day, you're going to be motivated. You aren't doing anything. And by the way, it won't make any difference from the person who get motivated, share the information, demotivated, goes back to the drawing board, get another idea, motivated, going back. You're just the same, because both of you share one thing in common. All right? That's one thing you share in common, is that there is no execution. And the point is this, it's always good to make sure the moment you get a good idea, go out there, start the idea, just work behind the curtains. You see, this kind of the great people whom you have in our lives in this 21st century, and we regard them as the highest achievers. We regard them as the wealthiest. We regard them as the celebrities and what have you. These guys, they actually work a lot hard behind the doors. And when they come to the public, they make it look like as if, hey, it was just a simple vibe. For example, say you welcome a musician, one of the greatest musicians in our country, for example, like the Papa Jones, you see, he's an amazing guy. And then you invite him to your show, and then maybe let's say in an hour or 2 hours you pay him like close to 1 million shillings or 2 million or 3 or 5, depends on his rate card. And then at that particular point you say, oh my goodness, people are having it soft. No, people are not having it soft. If he can show you the hard work behind the doors, you cannot even believe it. Most of you will give up. Okay, so the point is this: you work behind the doors, you do as much as you can, work on your skills, work on your competence, work on your confidence, and by the time you show up to the people, you have all that what it entails for them to pay you. You attach value on top of your head, and that's what you work with at the end of the day. So exactly what am I saying in this video? I'm saying do not keep on sharing the ideas out there. Do not share your secrets. Do not share your plans. Do not even sometimes even share your success. Let the success, make the noises for you and actually tell people, hey, you know what? This guy that you see right here, this guy is actually a success. This guy is a gent. This guy is a gentleman. This guy is a great, this lady, this girl, or something of sort. All right? Guess what, guys? That marks the end of my video today, but that doesn't mean it's the end of me posting. Guess what? I always post a video each and every day talking about investments and what have you. So if you wouldn't love to miss any of my good videos in future, do this. It doesn't cost you anything. Down below there on your right, there is a small button written subscribe. Hit that magical button, like this video, and as well, comment down below. And you can take my number from the description of this specific video. Get a copy of mine about investments. It's only $280. All right? For now, it's a goodbye. See ya.